if you can't get a Black provider that looks like you, the next best step is to make sure that you have an advocate in the form of a doula. As a Black woman, I would encourage you to have an advocate in the form of a doula that looks like you, because they're going to understand your similar lived experience all the way down to the food you eat, the language that you use. I always give the example, I worked at a hospital and one of the midwives said, I can't stand when these people say for a minute. I've been having this pain for a minute. And so for me, that was hilarious because I completely understood it. So the fact that you're that offended by me saying I didn't have this pain for a minute, instead of just having a conversation to ask me, well, how long is a minute? I'm sorry, I don't know. Is a minute a week? Is a minute a month? Instead of having that conversation. But for me, as a Black woman, I'm immediately saying, dang, they done had this pain for a while. Girl, tell me about it. So you didn't have it for the last couple weeks, last couple months. Tell me what you mean. And so that's what we mean. So when you bring in that doula because you don't have a provider that looks like you, that doula is able to be that middle person, is able to translate your language, because what you shouldn't have to do is walk into your provider's office to code switch to make them comfortable. And that's what we tend to do as Black folks. We don't want to offend the white doctors. And so we make sure I remember, when I was younger, my grandmother would say, you got to put on your best clothes to go to the doctor so they won't keep you ignorant. So they won't think that you are incompetent or you don't know and you just a stupid Black person coming in. So we had to put on our best clothes, right? But what you shouldn't have to do as a Black person is do all of that. Think about the language you use. Think about how you use your wording. Think about if your voice elevates or anything, because you don't want to make your doctor uncomfortable. And so a doula is able to truly step in and advocate for you, even when you're in those situations, to step in and say, hey, you done messed up to that provider. And you said this, and this is what's really going on. And able also to ask those questions that you might not think to ask. That doula is able to step in and say, hey, real quick, I have a question. And you're like, oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. Or if I had a conversation with my doula 2 weeks ago and forgot about it, when we walk into that office, that doula is able to bring that conversation back up as well.